morning. From the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, host for the 2020 Ferrari Finali Mondiali. Rounding out a season with some special attractions on the track. Not only the Ferrari Challenge races and the final races of our 2020 season, but also the F1 Clienti, the XX programs as well, and a glittering Ferrari show. All here on the 4.226 kilometer circuit, rounding out the 2020 season. And the grid is set for the final race of the season. It is the world final for the Trofeo Pirelli. All the pressures of the championship have gone away. The champions have been crowned. It is now the gold roof race. The honour of being the world champion, because we have competitors from Ferrari Challenge Europe, UK, also from North America too, and big shout out to our missing friends from Asia Pacific, which due to travel reasons, of course, cannot be part of this Finali Mondiali, which was moved from the end of 2020 through to this date, this weekend in 2021. So the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli is something of a challenge for our drivers, with 16 turns, 6 of them left-handers, 10 of them are right-handers. The circuit was originally designed back in 1969 with an original length of 3.4 kilometers, and it hosted its first sanctioned event back in 1972. The 3 sectors illuminated in the colors there, blue, yellow, and red. And the final section, quite a technical one, through the stadium part of the Misano circuit. Blue skies, it's not very warm, just 10 degrees the temperature here. Track temperature 5 degrees, so getting temperature into those tyres on the formation lap is going to be critical for our drivers that contest the world final across 2 classes, of course. The Pirelli drivers, where Thomas Neubauer was be starting pole position, and also for our AM drivers, where Frederik Paulsen will be starting from pole position. And this is the way it looks. To the left-hand side of your picture is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. To the right-hand side, it's Fabian Volvend as we make our way down through the sharp end of the grid. And to the left-hand side of your picture now is one Mr. Cooper McNeil from North America. And incidentally, the 2020 season started 410 days ago in Daytona. And that man, Cooper McNeil, was the first winner on the 22nd of January 2020. Surely the longest season ever, and I was there in Daytona when Cooper took the win. So here we can see the front row of the grid with a Pirelli driver to the right-hand side, Thomas Neubauer, and Frederik Paulsen to the left-hand side, the AM driver. And everyone's set to do battle for 30 minutes. Tony Verlander there, one of the official Ferrari GT drivers, and Beppe Scanetti there, who will be driving the safety car for this race. Now, the world final for Copichelle did not have a safety car in it. Let's hope the Trofeo Pirelli world final will go the same way, with no neutralizing safety cars in the race. It's been an extraordinary weekend here in Misano, with so much going on, as I mentioned in our preview XX programs and F1 Clienti. And here's another snapshot of our weekend. And a nice glimpse into our broadcast centre as part of that package of highlights of our Finali Mondiali weekend. So the safety car stands by, ready to lead the cars away on their formation lap. Let me introduce you to my colleague who's in the studio next door to me for social media reasons, and that is Nico Spalek. Misano, it's a bit cold, but the sun is shining and it's dry, Nico.
Yeah, definitely. But the drivers have been used to these conditions, having qualified every day in the morning, so they know how to deal with this cold tarmac and getting their tires up to temperature. And we will speak to our pole sitter, which is going to be Thomas Neubauer, here in shot in just a moment.
Thomas, you will start from the pole and you have a great chance to close at the best your season 2020.
Yeah, I mean, we have shown a great pace this weekend so far, so now we just need to keep focus, as yesterday, on the race pace. The team did a brilliant job giving me a supercar for the race, so now we just, keep focus. And yeah, the goal is to be on the best step of the podium in a few minutes, so I hope to see you there.
Thomas Neubauer, and he crediting the Charles Pozzi Courage team for giving him the car. Frederik Poulsen drives for Formula Racing, and he, of course, will be hoping to deny Thomas Neubauer, even though they're in completely separate classes. Just to be first through the first sequence of turns means such a lot, and, of course, would give him a huge cushion over Christian Brunsborg, who will be, although E2 on the grid in class, he has got 4 Pirelli drivers ahead of him, so it would give Frederik Poulsen a really, really nice cushion. But we will see. We've seen that the first sequence of turns 1, 2, and 3, are a pinch point, a real funnel on this. So the cars are set, and the drivers are set. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, if I may say, Nico, has got work to do. And all weekend long, he doesn't appear to have been completely satisfied with everything. What a beautiful backdrop that is. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi goes from P5 on the grid in class, but that's P6 overall. That's the third row of the grid, so he's got some overtaking to do, Nico.
Definitely. Tabacchi is, incidentally, the only one who can be world champion again after doing that feat last year. He did it in the AMS last year, to be honest. So he has got his work cut out for him. Before the weekend, we've probably, and here we have him in shot again, we would have said he's odds-on favorite to win it. From P6, that's going to be a tough task. But, I mean, he has shown time and time again, including yesterday, that every turn, every lap, he is a man to be reckoned with, and you certainly wouldn't put it beyond him.
Do not discount him. If you do, you do so at peril. Because, as Nico has indicated, he is very much a man that can do it. But he has made his task that much harder in this World Final race. As I said at the beginning of the programme, all the championship points are awarded. The champions have been crowned, and therefore all the pressures of the championship are over.
1 minute. 1 minute to formation lap.
Our race director then informing all the drivers and us as well that there is just 1 minute to the formation lap. So now every driver goes through their warm-up routine inside the cars, just visualizing the circuit, visualizing every turn, and thinking about how best they're going to generate temperature into the brakes and into the tires across the formation lap. By using the brakes vigorously, of course, that generates heat. That heat dissipates through into the tires to give them the grip necessary going into turns 1, 2, and 3 once the safety car is peeled off into the pit lane. So right on cue, then the safety car is released, and here's the grid in full. Thomas Neubauer for Trofeo Pirelli goes from P1. P1 for the AMS. P2 on the grid is Frederik Poulsen. Row 2 of the grid features Florian Merckx and Cooper McNeil. Cooper will be a danger man from there. Fabian Volvend and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi are on row 3 of the grid. Don't discount them. Christian Brunsborg, Matthew Sveibo are on the 4th row. P9 and P10 for John Vortique and Marco Pulcini. Then we see Hans Seconds and Nicolo Rossi on the 6th row of the grid, P11 and P12. Thomas O'Rourke and John Dillon are on the 7th row. It's P13 and P14. Then it's AC and Hanno Laskowski on the 8th row of the grid, with Cloud Ceneretti for Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale going from P17 on the grid. The cars are on their way now. Of course, at the conclusion of the lap, they'll grid up behind the safety car, side-by-side formation, ready for the rolling start and for the lights on the gantry to go green. Color codes for you: European drivers in red, North American drivers in blue. Once again, we have drivers from Europe and North America, and we hope come the end of the 2021 season that all travel will be back to normal and we'll be able to welcome our great friends and great competitors from the Asia Pacific Series to the World Final as well. Neubauer from Merckx, from McNeil, Volvend and Tabacchi. And then it's in the AMS, Paulsen from Brunsberg, Vibo, Pulcini, Hans Seconds and Nicolo Rossi. We are in for a fantastic conclusion to what has been an extraordinary, in so many ways, 2020 season. We close the season in 2021 here in Misano. We're on board with the safety car, and just look how Thomas Neubauer is champing at the bit, deliberately getting right to the back of the safety car, then really using the brakes, as I said, to generate that temperature to dissipate through the rims and onto the tyres. So this, the stadium section then of the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli, which will play host to this race, the Gold Roof Race, the World Championship in terms of the Trofeo Pirelli drivers. Yannick Bardi, the team principal of Octane 1-2, watches on. His driver, Fabian Volvend, going from P4 in class, P5 on the grid. We have a green, let's go racing. Frederick Paulsen bogs down at the start. Cooper McNeil gets past him. Thomas Neubauer and Florian Merckx is through into P2. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi trying to make good headwind as well as they make their way through turns 1, 2 and 3 now. So whatever happened for Frederick Paulsen at the start, it wasn't as he planned it. He has dropped back down the order. Whether there is an issue with the car, he's already under pressure from Mathieu Vibo. And Paulsen is dropping way back down the order as the rest of the cars settle down now. But Thomas Neubauer's got his nose in front. He's got Florian Merckx, the Baron Motorsport driver for company, who in turn is being pressured by Fabian Volvend. There you can see under pressure the Christian Brunsberg car. But Thomas Neubauer doing what he needs to do, stretching his legs and building up some 0.6 of a margin already. Brunsberg is very lively on the back of the Pulcini car. No question about that. Here comes Neubauer. Here comes Florian Merckx. So Trofeo Pirelli World Final is go. First 5 places occupied by the Trofeo Pirelli drivers before we then see Paulsen, who remarkably is still in the lead in the AMS, but he's got Mathieu Vibo for company. And the cushion he had of all those Trofeo Pirelli cars between himself and the other AM drivers has gone away now. And it will be a straight fight between Paulsen and Vibo. Is now taking a look at the inside. Fabian Volvend trying to get to the inside line and trying to get past Florian Merckx. It wasn't to happen, and look at this. Here comes Emanuele Maria Tabacchi now on Cooper McNeil. Cooper McNeil is P4. And Tabacchi takes a look at the inside of Cooper McNeil from a high heli shot. But it is all as it was. But Emanuele Maria Tabacchi has got the bit between his teeth now. And the North American racer, Cooper McNeil, all of a sudden cannot attack, and he's having to defend and metaphorically stick his elbows out here against Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. As Nico pointed out, he took a world final victory when he was in the AM class last year. He is, of course, already Trofeo Pirelli champion, so he has won the Trofeo Pirelli AM championship from a season ago, and now is Trofeo Pirelli champion. He'd dearly love to add the world final crown to that as well, but preventing him from doing so at the moment is Cooper McNeil and Fabian Volvend and Florian Merckx. And now, whatever problems Frederik Poulsen has had, they have really manifested because he's dropped way down the order, and the leader in the AMS is Hans Sickens, ahead of Claude Seneretti and Christian Brunsborg. And a safety car has been called for. Something must have happened, Nico, because I was just looking at the timing screen, and Poulsen has dropped way down the order, and so too have a number of others, including Vibo, look.
Yeah, it must have been a coming together. Sorry, it must have been a coming together with Vibo and Poulsen by the looks of it, and both of them have disappeared from where we would expect them to be, and that is on board Frederik Poulsen's car.
Vibo's on his inside, isn't he? And let's just see how this plays out. Oh. Yeah, that was clattered into the side of Poulsen, and to be fair to Mathieusz Vibo, he was kind of an innocent bystander as I saw that. And I think it was Christian Brunsborg, wasn't it, with the overtake move on the inside, Nico? Or did I call that incorrectly?
I think initially there was John Vortiek, because he was part of that sandwich initially, but then definitely Brunsborg came into that battle as well. There was so much to dissect among the multiple turns this went through.
Right, let's have a look at the start once again. And that's where Poulsen really bogged down. Cooper McNeil, great avoidance from Cooper, not to clatter into the back of Poulsen. And Neubauer just keeping an eye on everything that he was doing, not worrying about what was going on behind him. And here you can see how keen Emanuele Maria Tabacchi was right at the start, nearly running into the back of the Cooper McNeil car. Oh, there was contact further down the order, Nico. And that, I think, into the back. To see that again, to see where the contact was made there.
There was the Nicola Rossi car, if I caught that correctly.
So seeing it from different angles now as the first lap unfolded. Oh, and that is a great shame. Mathieusz Vibo is out of the race. There's Scuderia Prague, one of the hardest working teams in the paddock, are not going to be able to repair the damage done to Mathieusz Vibo's car. His father, Miroslav, of course, was on the podium in the world final for Copa Shell. He took P3, if memory serves, and unfortunately Mathieusz Vibo is not going to be on the podium. He's not even going to complete the race. That's a bitter shame, because Mathieusz, Nico, has delivered some great racing for us during the course of the season.
Definitely. Vibo and Poulsen, indeed, they have been the go-to guys in this series this year. And for them to be the ones who have been eliminated from contention thus early is really disappointing. But, you know, you have to capitalize on your opportunity. And if you look, Hans Sickens, Seneretti, Brunsborg, Pulcini, they are all now lined up for the AM podium potentially. So it's going to be very interesting who of those will be able to maximize their opportunity with arguably the two front runners out of the race.
Racing can be brilliant, but it can also be brutal. And on occasions, you're on the receiving end of bad luck rather than good luck. And that's certainly the case for Mathieusz Vibo and Frederik Poulsen. We are still behind the safety car. I would love to see just another replay of that instant that took out Mathieusz Vibo. As Nico said, there's so much in that to dissect, but the result of it is that the safety car has been called for. And the safety car lights are still flashing, so it's not imminently coming in, although once the lights extinguish, we know that the safety car is coming in. We will see. Thomas Neubauer, of course, he'd built up something of a lead, and all that has been neutralized. Whoa, as if by magic, we find out that the safety car is coming in at the conclusion of this lap. Conclusion of this lap, safety car will be in again, and Florian Merckx and Fabian Volvend and Cooper McNeil, and especially Emanuele Maria Tabacchi will see this as an opportunity, Nico, to further themselves up the order. As you can see, top three overtakes from Cooper McNeil, from Fabian Volvend, and also from Cloud Ceneretti for Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale. So now Neubauer will back them all up, and Florian will try and anticipate when Thomas Neubauer is going to give it a footfall in the hope of being able to try and keep with him, weaving from side to side, regenerating that temperature into the tyres as we're about to go racing once again with just under 22 minutes left on the clock. The Octane 126 pit wall there, keeping an eye on all the data. And now Neubauer does give it a footfall. Florian Merckx and Fabian Volvend both anticipating. I think Fabian anticipating better than anybody. Can Fabian have a go on Florian Merckx for P2 going into turn number 1? She tries to get alongside the Florian Merckx car, but was unable to do so. She'll try again now. Thomas Neubauer, though, he escapes. And the incident involving cars number 4 and number 56 is under investigation. So it was Christian Brunsborg and also Mathieu Weibo, and here's Emanuele Maria Tabacchi on the inside of Cooper McNeil. Very nearly did it, but not quite. Cooper sticking his elbows out and denying Emanuele Maria Tabacchi the opportunity to come through, but here comes Tabacchi again. This is a fight for P4 in this race. All the way around the outside is a long way for Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, but it will give him the inside for the next turn, but he just loses out. Loses traction on the back end of the car as he ran onto the AstroTurf. And all of a sudden, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi's under a bit of pressure now from John Vortique. He's in the middle, and therefore he's hunting, but being hunted at the same time. We're on board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi now, the Rosso Corsa racer, as he continues to pursue Cooper McNeil ahead of him. And Fabian Volvend and Florian Merckx. Again, Fabienne to go all the way around the outside here will be keen. But she's certainly trying, and she is certainly worrying Florian. Of course, what she wants to do is to be able to get by Florian Merckx so that she can pursue Thomas Neubauer. It's all playing nicely into Thomas's hands, because the more all of these are fighting, it just means that he's able to escape up the road. And let's get a live gap. It was 7/10, and it's now 8/10. Car number 5 exceeding the track limit at turn number 8. That's the car of Fabian Volvend. She needs to keep an eye on that in her pursuit of Florian Merckx. Not to feel the race direction. The last thing she needs is a time penalty. The way it's worked with penalties is that you get a couple of warnings and then you get a time penalty. However, talking of penalties, there is a drive-through penalty for Christian Brunsborg. That takes him out of the P2 position effectively in the AMS, Nico.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, maybe we will get a replay of that later on. There certainly was contact, and race control has deemed Brunsborg to be the guilty party in that. Very, very unlucky, but it opens the door for Ceneretti and Pulcini and possibly Tomas Roca for a road to the podium in the AMS.
Well, let's see how it all plays out. We've still got 19 minutes of race action to come. And for the moment, Cooper McNeil has seen off the charge from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. You just have a feeling that that isn't going to stay that way for too long, though, as Emanuele Maria Tabacchi continues to try and unsettle Cooper McNeil. He's not a driver known for being unsettled, in all honesty. Hugely successful racing driver. And he has got the weight of the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli European champion behind him. The fight of the two champions, of course, the Trofeo Pirelli North American champion is Cooper McNeil, and the European champion is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. But he is also having to defend from John Vortique, who has looked very, very lively this weekend. I've been really impressed with John Vortique. Neubauer, his gap is down to 4/10 as Florian Merckx gets the hurry up from Fabian Volvend, truthfully. So Hans Sickens, Christian Brunsborg and Cloud Ceneretti are the 1, 2, 3 in terms of the AM drivers, but bear in mind Brunsborg has got to take a drive-through penalty, which will elevate Pulcini into that P3 place in the AMS. So Neubauer from Merckx, from Volvend. Then Cooper McNeil now beginning to pressure Fabienne Volvend. There's a real seesaw here in terms of where the battles are. Tabaki just easing off for a moment on his fight with Cooper McNeil. Brake discs light up on the Octane 126 car of Fabienne Volvend. And a number of cars being warned about track limits now. And in comes Hanno Laskowski. So Hanno Laskowski coming into the pit lane. The driver that we're expecting to see in the pit lane is Christian Brunsborg, who incidentally on track is now showing as being ahead of Hans Sickens, Nico.
Yeah, must have overtaken Sickens now. Sickens obviously has been told by his team that Brunsborg will be given a penalty, so he certainly didn't defend too hard when Brunsborg made a move as to not ruin his race, knowing that his competitor will have to come into the pits and therefore will drop down the order.
Let him go, let him go. That would have been the message, I'm sure, because there's no point defending the position knowing that he's got that penalty to serve. And he has to serve that within 3 laps of being awarded the penalty. Otherwise, the severity of the penalty increases significantly. Doesn't very often happen, but it can happen. So Neubauer, just under 8 tenths now over Florian Merckx. But there's a real battle between Merckx, Volvend, McNeil, Tabaki and Vortigue. They are all together there. And of course, with but 16 minutes of the race remaining, not one of them is able really to put any pressure on Thomas Neubauer because they're all sort of fighting between themselves. After saying that, Thomas Neubauer is just going about the job really, really well. Florian Merckx setting the fastest lap, the only driver to have posted a time in the 1:35s. There is the number 16 car of Hans Sickens, who is the de facto leader of the AMS. Although Christian Brunsborg is ahead of him, Christian Brunsborg has got to come in and serve that drive-through penalty. So Hans Sickens, as sure enough, as if he was listening to us, Nico, he pulls into the pit lane, and that immediately elevates Hans Sickens up to the lead ahead of Claude Senaretti. And then it is Marco Pulcini who is P3. So sure enough, the drive-through penalty being taken there. I think it will be a big ask for him to really get back into the front end of the order of the AMS. Try his level best, but with only 14.5 minutes of the race remaining, it's going to be a very, very tall order. Might get into the P8, P7 position, perhaps. So Fabienne has not been able to find a way past Florian Merckx. And there is Hans Sickens for H.R. Owen, leading over Claude Senaretti in the AMS. And a big, big sideways moment there for Pulcini, which has allowed Tommaso Rocca to go through to pick up the final podium place in the AMS, as it is at the moment. So Sickens from Senaretti, but here comes Pulcini, who is going to fight back here, but he's going to have John Dillon for company. And John drove a brilliant race yesterday and finished P4. So John Dillon will be fancying his chances to at least emulate his position from yesterday's final race of the season. So John Dillon really, really tracking the Marco Pulcini car now. There is Pulcini. There in the meantime. Here's the Tommaso Rocca car. So Tommaso Rocca, of course, very much wants to get past Claude Senaretti. It's all playing into the hands, Nico, of Hans Sickens, who's able to escape now, isn't he? And he's built up about 3 seconds of margin between himself and Claude Senaretti and Tommaso Rocca because of the battle that is going on between them and the fight that they've got. So it really is giving Hans Sickens a huge advantage.
Absolutely, and Senaretti really has to be careful. He's already received the final warning on track limits and is now again showing as to track limits, and there is the consequence, the time penalty, 5 seconds.
Oh, no.
Now, that's not quite as cruel as a drive-through penalty, but obviously he's in that 5-pack, he's leading that 5-pack, but with 5 seconds, obviously, virtually, he is behind those cars. Now, that doesn't help. That doesn't help Thomas Roker get past him and try to pursue Sickens. He still has to get past him on the track. But certainly, Senaretti, that is going to be very, very costly if it stays like this.
Well spotted. I'm glad you picked up that. Neubauer, 1.7 seconds to the good now. The incident involving cars number 8 and 85 is under investigation. That was Hanno Laskowski and Nicolo Rossi. Now there is Pulcini. So Pulcini is out. How did this happen? John Dillon is right behind. Very good avoidance from John. Avoided clattering into the spinning number 27 car. Oh, that was close. So that's the reason why we see Pulcini down the order now. So it all changes with Hans Sickens, Cloud Senaretti and Tommaso Roca. Now I'm trying to work out the margins here because with a 5-second time penalty, Nico, does this mean John Dillon's on for a podium here?
Yes, right now he is on for a podium by my reckoning as well. It would be Sickens, Roca and John Dillon. Obviously his avoidance was excellent and necessary. It did cost him some time, so he has to try and manage that margin. But he certainly is primed for a podium if everything stays that way. It is 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
It's going to be close. This is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi that we are on board with now, who has thus far not been able to find a way past the North American racer Cooper McNeil. There is Cooper McNeil in the all-white WeatherTech liveried machine. And it's Emanuele Maria Tabacchi in the blue and black 488 Challenge Evo behind him. And there's sort of gaps between all 4 of them. No further investigation with regards to that incident we saw between Rossi and Hanno Laskowski, which has meant that Hanno Laskowski unfortunately has had to retire from the race. Nicolo Rossi is still running down there in P6 in the AMS. Let me just recap the top 3 in terms of Pirelli drivers. It's Thomas Neubauer by a country mile over Florian Merckx and Fabien Volvend. And in terms of the AMS, it's Hans Sickens, Cloud Senaretti and Tommaso Roca with John Dillon in 4th. And the reason I'm mentioning P4 is because Cloud Senaretti, who is P2 on track, has got a 5-second time penalty, which will mean that Tommaso Roca moves up to P2 and John Dillon moves up to P3 if everything stays as it is currently. That's our overall race leader. That's our P2. And there is Emanuele Maria Tabacchi with less than 10 minutes of this race remaining. It is the world final race for our Trofeo Pirelli drivers across both the Pirelli and AM classes. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, the Trofeo Pirelli champion, and Cooper McNeil, the Trofeo Pirelli champion for North America. And neither of them at the moment are on for the world final if it stays this way. Incidentally, Cooper McNeil has just been given his final warning with regards to track limits as well, so he needs to be ever minded of that. Running in that P4 position, he's off the podium at the moment. I would think Florian Merckx is getting close to final warning as well. Oh, that was a big save from Cloud Senaretti, holding on to that car. Extraordinary. And nearly for the second time, John Dillon had to take some really evasive action. Well, and John Dillon there has The 251 car of Cloud Senaretti and the number 25 car of AC battling. There is John Dillon, and there is Cloud Senaretti now. So the order is Sickins, Roca, Senaretti, Dillon, AC. But bear in mind that on the left-hand side of your screen now, Dillon goes ahead of Senaretti. He's dropped down the order to P4. Back to the Trofeo Pirelli battle that continues, and this fight for P3 between Cooper McNeil and Fabian Volvend. And there is Thomas Neubauer, our leader, who really has not put a wheel wrong and has maintained that 2.5 second margin. In the commentary studio right next door to me here in Misano is Nico Spalak, whose eyes have been glued pretty much to the message board of the timing screen, because they're coming in thick and fast now, aren't they?
Absolutely, and this time it is this man, Tabaki, who has been given his final warning, and we've already seen race control is good on its promise. If it's final warning +1, that means you will be getting a time penalty. It's still 6 minutes and change, so there's still a lot can happen, but if you get a 5-second time penalty, that would mean game over for Tabaki. And he has been given another warning just as we speak, and that may be the one warning too many.
Yeah, I can see that now. You're absolutely right. That may be one more warning too many, and that would play into the hands of John Vortique. It's not going to impact on the podium, but even so. Sure enough, time penalty is issued to car number 33, Emanuele Maria Tabaki. Now, this in replay is Cloud Senaretti and AC, who are having something of a stock car race out there at the moment as they battle between each other, which plays nicely to the advantage of John Dillon, who's able to escape up the road and really cement his P3 position, Nico, for the AMS. This is the battle for the Trofeo Pirelli honours for P2 and 3 between Florian Merckx and Fabian Volvend, and Cooper McNeil, who's now turning up the wick a bit with the final 5 minutes to go. It's going to be a fraught fight to the final for the those that are in the P2, 3 and 4 positions in Trofeo Pirelli. I think the checkered flag will await them in 4 3/4 minutes time, and it's going to be fraught through until then, I think.
Definitely, and this battle is really, really entertaining. I mean, Senaretti has a 5-second penalty, so one could question why he's still fighting, but obviously there is ambition, there is pride on the line. We can see on our left-hand side, Christian Brunsberg has made it all the way up to P7, and taking into account the Senaretti penalty, he's actually already P6, so considering that he had that drive-through penalty, he's really, really quick on the road. And AC, obviously, you know, he is the one who can lose out on this. Senaretti is not really fighting for a podium anymore, given his penalty.
So Sickins, Roca, Dillon, the top 3 in the AMS on the left-hand side of your screen in graphics. Top 3 in Pirelli, it's Neubauer, Merckx and Volvend. And we have but 3.5 minutes of this race remaining. The final race of our 2020 season, the world final race. And Cloud Senaretti is all over the back of AC. This is the fight for P4 in the AMS. Nicolo Rossi getting closer now. And I said when Christian Brunsberg had served his drive-through penalty, you know, maybe he could think about P8, P7. Well, he's in P7, and he could potentially see a P6, P5 opportunity if he can really get the hurry up over the final 3 minutes, I would think.
Yeah, and he's really showing his pace, has to tuck in behind Rossi there, but he will certainly try at the end of this long straight. If he has an opportunity, he will try to go for a move. And there is the fight for P2 in the Pirelli class. And there is Cooper McNeil close to Fabian Wolf. And he would certainly like to have that podium if he can somehow wrestle it away. But the young Liechtenstein driver, she's going to be feisty and hold on to that if she somehow possibly can.
I have to say, I picked a couple of laps ago that Cooper had really upped his game here and found something towards the end of the race. And you're absolutely right. Fabienne is going to have to defend like never before against Cooper McNeil. And Cooper would dearly love to be on the podium, of course. And at the moment, it's Neubauer, Merckx and Volvend, the three drivers that we expect to see on the podium. But we still have a couple of minutes yet. The top speed standings, John Voltique at 223.1, mirrored by 4 other drivers as well. So the fight between Fabian Volvend and Cooper McNeil means that Florian Merckx has been able to escape, and therefore he is untroubled. But Fabian Volvend is having to keep an eye on everything going on because her rear views are filled with the all-white frontage of the 488 Challenge Evo of Cooper McNeil. And Cooper trying to place the car wherever he can to try and unsettle Fabian Volvend and secure that final podium place. So once they've concluded this lap, there will be one more lap to go in this world final race. Who will be crowned world champion? Well, Thomas Neubauer has got 4 seconds to the good, and he's about to start the final lap. And Hans Sickens has got a nice margin of some 8 seconds over Thomas Oroka. And so on to the final lap we go. It is Thomas Neubauer from Florian Merckx from Fabian Volvend. The closest battle is between Volvend and Cooper McNeil for that P3 place. Although for the moment, Fabian has left Cooper and is now attacking Florian Merckx. So all of a sudden, Fabian has found something and is trying to attack Florian Merckx in the number 88 car for the P2 place. So where is this going to go? Well, Neubauer, barring absolute disaster, surely has got it sewn. That's not the case for P2, 3 necessarily yet, because it would just take one momentary lack of concentration from Florian or from Fabienne, and those podium places could change. Well, Fabienne has thrown absolutely everything at it. She's tried so hard. She's had to defend as well. The fingers are crossed up and down the pit lane and on the pit purchase. In a real show, here comes Thomas Neubauer, just drifting the car round. The grip compromised now, having driven every lap like a quali lap. He heads to the checkered flag. Thomas Neubauer is world champion. Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli. P2 to Florian Merckx, P3 to Fabian Volvend. Then it's Cooper McNeil. Then it will be John Voltique ahead of Emanuele Maria Tabacchi because of the time penalty. Now, Hans Sickens will become the first UK entry to win a world final in the number 16 car, engineered by H.R. Owen. Hans Sickens is Trofeo Pirelli Am world champion. And he finishes a goodly margin over Thomas Oroka P2, and a brilliant world final podium for John Dillon. That too is richly deserved, but the action is not all over yet, as Cloud Ceneretti, well, a last corner lunge from Brunsburg puts him ahead of Cloud Ceneretti. Oh, Nico. Over the last few corners, it really could have gone in terms of the P2 and 3 places on the podium. For Trofeo Pirelli, it could have gone any way, couldn't it? But there was no mistaking the superiority across that race of Thomas Neubauer.
Definitely. definitely, and he has been the quickest man throughout this weekend, so well deserved. And seconds, probably, I mean, really, 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 really good performance. Probably the most unexpected champion on this day, but richly deserved. Great drive, very consistent, kept out of the battles, which made him little invisible to the race because he wasn't involved in the battles like Senoretti. But great drive, and there is the camaraderie. Congratulations given by Tabaki to our new champion, Thomas Neubauer.
Yes, and that's really, really nice to see. So the top three Pirelli drivers, Thomas Neubauer, Florian Merckx, Fabian Wohlwend. The top three AM drivers, Hans Sickins, Thomas Soroka, and John Dillon. Glad Senoretti was in it all, wasn't he? So was AC. Brilliant entertainment over the last few corners. My goodness. Can calm down a bit now, Dave. Trofeo Pirelli World Final done and dusted. And here is the world champion for the Pirelli drivers. That is Thomas Neubauer, the Charles Pozzi Courage driver. He's pretty pleased with that. Thomas is not one to show emotions that often. He's so focused and so concentrated on everything that he needs to do. But I think he's really going to be thrilled with having nailed that. Out of the car he comes. Charles Pozzi done a good job in providing him with the car underneath him that he needed. Ah, yes. Ah, yes, sir. Well done. Well done, Thomas. And Florian Merckx for Baron Motorsport. And Fabian Wohlwend with Fabian's father there to the left-hand side of your picture, and Yannick Bardi, the team boss at Octane 126. Well done, Fabian. So plenty of discussions going on. Thomas will be on the top step of the podium. What about that? Well, there was a lot going on in that race. Let's have a look at the best actions now.
Thomas, you are the new world champions. A big, fantastic result for your season.
Yeah, I mean, with the team, we have been working quite hard with it, just for it. And yeah, in the end, we did it. So I'm really proud of everybody, the team, my parents, everybody supporting me. So thanks to everybody. And yeah, super happy about this result.
Another question for you.
Well done,
after
Thomas.
This big race for the future in Ferrari Challenger, what do you think?
For sure, racing great cars like this is obviously a pure joy. So I hope to be continuing this season with the Ferrari and in the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli.
Well done, Michele, getting a commitment like that. You did jolly well. And here come the highlights of our Trofeo Pirelli World Final race from Misano. That was a great, great shot of Thomas Neubauer atop his car. And we are standing by for the podium. Top three confirmation on screen for you. Trofeo Pirelli, Thomas Neubauer, Florian Merckx, Fabian Volvend. And for the AM drivers in Trofeo Pirelli, Hans Sekins, Thomas O'Rourke and John Dillon. Oh, and the race statistics. Top speed, Fabian Volvend and Cloud Senaretti in each of the classes. But the fastest laps went the way of Florian Merckx and Christian Brunsborg. Let's head up to the podium now for the celebrations.
Main class, we are ready for the third position on the podium, Fabian Volvend. Second place, Florian Merckx. And the winner is world champion Thomas Neubauer. Please, Mr. Enrico Galliera, Mr. Antonello Coletta, and Mr. Mario Isola on near the podium, and we are ready for the national anthem. Misano World Circuit Final, World Final Ferrari Challenge. And now, guys, take yourself your trophy and lift it for photos. Thank you.
Taking P3 on the podium, the Octane 126 driver, Fabian Volvend. Baron Motorsport secure P2 in the World Final for Trofeo Pirelli, courtesy of their driver, Florian Merckx. undisputed winner. And the Trofeo Pirelli World Final Champion, the Charles Posse Garage, Thomas Neubauer. Standing by for the AM podium to come then. And we'll be seeing Hans Sickens, Thomas O'Rourke and John Dillon on the three steps of the podium.
AM class, the winners, third position, John Dillon. Second place, Tommaso Rocca. And the world champion 2020, Hans Sickens. Near the podium, the official GT drivers, Ferrari, Alessandro Pierguidi, James Calado, and we want Mario Isola came back on the podium, Mario. And now we are ready for the national anthem. Ferrari Challenge World Race. Hans Sickens, world champion. Please, guys, take yourself your trophy. Take your trophy and lift it. Lift it. Okay.
The top three world champion race, Trofeo Pirelli AM. John Dillon with a Supreme P3. P2 for Thomas O'Rourke. And the world final winner, in Misano, Hans Sickens. So the podium's done and dusted. In but a few weeks' time, we start the 2021 season at Monza, just up the road, relatively. Then it's Spielberg in Austria, Brno in the Czech Republic, Valencia in Spain, Nürburgring in Germany, Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and the World Finals, this event, next year, but this year, if you see what I'm saying, will be in Mugello at the beginning of November. From Nico, from myself, thank you so much for being part of the 2020 season. And from Misano, we bid you goodbye.